Hello, hello, ladies. Welcome to day 8 of the Boost Your Hormones Naturally class. Welcome, ladies. Today is the class you've been waiting for. I know it. Day 8, your eating plan is here. Come on in and say hello, and let's get started. You know the drill. You know what we do every day. I'm just going to check while you're all coming in here to make sure that I am in the right place. Like always, yes, I am. I hope you're all had a great, wonderful start to your week. Sunday is always my, I give myself an extra day. Like I don't do anything. I don't have client calls. I don't have coaching calls. I always give my day the first day of the week, like when everybody goes back to work and my son goes back to school. It just feels like today is my weekend. Sunday is my weekend. So I take it easy, relaxed. And then Monday is my big coaching day. Monday is the day that I have all the coaching calls for all my groups. There's the current round of the hormone reset level 1. There is the hormone reset level 3. There's the inner circle membership. Then there's my one-on-one clients. So I do that mostly between Monday and Tuesday. So today I've just been, loving communicating with my community, answering the questions on all the groups, coming in here and answering all of your questions. And then I get to do this. So eating plan. Here we go, ladies. I know this is what you've been waiting for. I know that this is where you feel like, oh my God, this is it. Like if what is she going to tell us today? We already know that she's going to say no coffee. We already know that she's going to say no bread and no cheese. We already know she's going to say no pasta. So what is it going to be? Like, what are we going to have for breakfast then? And what are we going to eat during the day? Get out a pen and paper and let's talk about your eating plan. Here we go, ladies. Quick reminder as you're coming in, all of you, that all the replays for these classes, tomorrow's our last day. All the replays are going to be available in the group until June 5th only. So they're not endless. They're not on the group forever. You only have until June 5th to watch them. And all the replays every single day after we're done, I add them to guides. Look under guides in the group. You're going to find all the replays of all the other videos. And then today and tomorrow, Tuesday's class is the bonus class. It's not in this group. Tuesday's class is how to overcome emotional eating. That's going to be a separate Zoom call. So you want in on that call, ladies, like I've been telling you for the past 8 days, please sign up for the class, sign up for the link for the class. It's not enough for you to be in the group. You want to watch Tuesday's class, which is, one of the most important pieces of how to finally eat in a way that's sustainable, which is understanding your emotions and the incredible role they play in how you eat. That's happening on Tuesday. That's not in the group. I have the link up here somewhere for the class. Please sign up for that if you haven't done so already. All right, let me just see who's here. Quick hello. Hi, Mona. Hi, Alia. Hi, Mona. Hi, Nadia. Hello, ladies. All right, eating plans, everybody. Here we go. Pen and papers are ready. We're going to work this backwards. Your body runs, without you even knowing it, on a very natural biological rhythm. You might not even be aware of this. There's a time for your body to sleep and regenerate, and there's a time for your body to be up and active and working and doing everything that it needs to do. So what we're going to do is going to work this plan backwards from bedtime. So ideally, based on your body's already built-in biological clock, you should be asleep by 10 or 11 p.m. maximum every single day. Maximum, ideally 10 o'clock, because the body starts to regenerate and your liver specifically works on its own regeneration and its own rebalancing and all of the repairs that it has to do from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. The liver can't repair during the day. It can't repair when you're busy, when you're working, when you're eating, when you're with your kids, when you're working out, when you're at work, when you're studying, when you're driving, it can't. It needs to be providing the fuel and making sure all the systems in your body are working. The only time the liver and other systems in your body can actually do the very important work, the regenerative work of repairing themselves, is when you're knocked out. So even though you're asleep, internally, there's a lot of work that happens. So if you eat right before bedtime, that you force your body to go into digestion. And if the body has to be digesting, it can't repair, it can't regenerate, it can't rebalance. So you should sleep by 10 or 11. And in order for the body not to be in a digestive state, that means your last meal should be by 6 or 7 p.m. because it takes about 3 to 4 hours for your bodies to digest. So your last meal, so I'm saying we're working it backwards. Your last meal is going to be between 6 and 7 p.m. Bedtime is between 10 and 11 p.m. All right. You have to give your body the opportunity to, and your liver to expel all the toxins from the day. That's why you end up, one of the reasons you end up with a backed up toxicity in your liver is if you're also on top of taking in all these toxins every day, you're not actually going to sleep and giving the liver, give the liver a chance at least to do some work at night when it's biologically trained to do so. So it needs to filter, it needs to expel toxins between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., 3 a.m., that's when it's optimal time. So if you eat at 9 p.m. and sleep at 12 p.m., you've already thrown off this system. Or if you eat at 12 p.m. and sleep at 1 a.m., you've thrown off the system. The liver cannot regenerate, can't expel toxins, can't filter, can't rebalance, and you're going to wake up tired because your liver, instead of resting and rebalancing, is going to be digesting all night. And at worst case, if it's not digesting, if you sleep late, it can't have the full hours that it needs to rebalance. It can't go through its filtering process, all right? So 6 or 7 is your last meal. Work it backwards again. So 12 or 1 p.m. is your second meal, and between 6 and 8 a.m. is your first meal or breakfast with snacks in between. So the body does need to rest. The body does need to fast. And this is where I want to talk about intermittent fasting for a little bit. The body does need to rest from food. But because none of us follow our natural biological rhythm, we've had to create this whole system of intermittent fasting to make up for what we're not doing the natural, easy, systematic, biological way. So when you have your last meal at 6 or 7 p.m., based on the body's natural biological system, and you don't eat anything and you go to sleep at 10 or 11 p.m., and then you wake up and you have your first meal between 6 and 8 a.m., that automatically gives you a fast between 12 and 14 hours. A natural fast, right? One that's not forced, because intermittent fasting is a forced fast. Nothing like fasting in Ramadan. That's very different. Fasting in Ramadan is a spiritual fast. We fast in Ramadan. We don't fast in Ramadan. We don't remove food to lose weight, right? We remove food because we are removing physical distractions in order to elevate our spiritual experience. And our bodies are very smart and they know the difference. There's a huge difference between I'm removing the distraction and the temptation of food and my desire for food and my cravings for food and my neediness for food. I'm removing all of that so that I can focus on the spiritual. And if you do it correctly, you get an incredible spiritual experience. Most people don't do Ramadan correctly, and so it interferes. Intermittent fasting is not that at all. Intermittent fasting is you are forcing the body to starve because you want to lose weight, or because you think it's going to benefit the body, or you think it's all about the physical. There's no spiritual experience there at all. And you don't even have to do it. Like, we have to come up with these contrived ways of eating and living because we've just lost touch with the natural rhythm, which is have your last meal at 6 or 7 p.m. because the body needs you to sleep at 10 p.m. because the liver needs to regenerate between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So then it can regenerate while you sleep. You wake up between 6 and 8 a.m., 12-hour fast, right there. 12 to 14-hour fast, which is not going to stress your body the way that intermittent fasting stresses the body. And the way that intermittent fasting stresses the body is because it's a forced fast, and it's going to cause, guess what? What gets released when the body's stressed? Cortisol. But when you do the body's natural resting rhythm, natural fasting rhythm, there's no cortisol. In fact, cortisol is right there working with you instead of against you. So what are you going to eat now? So last meal is 6 or 7 p.m. Second meal is 12 or 1 p.m. First meal is between 6 and 8 a.m. And you can have snacks in between. So what are we actually going to eat? Obviously, we are removing everything on the list. So no wheat, no bread, no pasta, no cereal, no barley, no rye, no farik, No oats, none of that. No dairy, no milk, no cheese, no yogurt, not even Greek yogurt, no flavored yogurt drinks or fruit yogurt, none of that. No dairy, no sugar, no processed oil, so no corn oil, no sunflower oil, no canola oil, no processed meats, because I think I didn't mention that. No processed meats like luncheon meats. Those are out all the time, right? Those are the most highly processed, highly carcinogenic foods ever. All of that is out. No packaged foods, no soy, no eggs, no caffeine, ladies, no coffee, no tea, no green tea, no matcha, no alcohol, no grains, so no oats, no beans, no lentils, no legumes. And that's it. I'm going to give you animal protein. You guys get to decide if you want to do that optional or not. All right. Before I move on, let me just see who's here. Abid is here. Meha's here. Hello, Meha. Noha's here. Alia, what about rice? No rice. At some art. Is that cookie or Sayida? Sayida, was that who it was? Coconut water, yes. Coconut-based cheese, chickpeas, no. Coconut-based cheese, I would need to see the ingredients for that. But coconut water, definitely yes. No legumes, nope. If you want to do this properly, if you want to do a cleanse properly, then no. So here's how it goes. Breakfast. You're going to have 500 milliliters of lemon water. So you want to measure out the 500 milliliters first, and then into that 500 milliliters, you're going to squeeze 2 limes, 2 Egyptian limes, regular sized limes, or 1 large lemon. Whatever you want, they taste a little bit different, but you want 1 large lemon or 2 limes, and you're going to squeeze those into the 500 milliliters of water. And the water can be either room temperature, or if you want it a little bit warm, you can do that. You can add a little bit of raw honey if you want to sweeten it. You can add fresh ginger if you want to give it an added boost. But you can take it completely plain if you don't have time to do all those other add-ons in the morning, and it's still 100% effective. You're going to wait about 15-20 minutes after your lemon water. And then you're going to drink 500 milliliters of fresh celery juice. I wish I could see your faces right now. Fresh celery juice. Ladies who have done my programs and who are here can tell you that it actually is not that bad. The taste grows on you. Here's how you're going to make it. If you're in Egypt, you want what's called the French celery. It's the light green one that's long with all the leaves at the end of it, not the Egyptian celery that kind of looks like parsley or coriander. The Egyptian one is dark green, like it's really, really, really thin and very, very dark green, not that one. You want the light green French celery. And what you're going to do is you're going to chop off all the leaves. We don't need the leaves. Chop the leaves, chop the ends, wash the stalks really, really, really well. If you have a juicer, then all you need to do is most juicers, you have to chop up the stalks, chop them up, put them through your juicer, and you're going to get a pure juice. That's all you need. If you don't have a juicer and you have to blend, you're going to have to take the same stalks chopped, put them in your blender, add a little bit of water. I would say add half a cup of water to start, blend it really well. If it's super thick, add a little bit more water. With blending, you're going to have to there's an extra step. You're going to have to strain it before you drink it because otherwise it's really uncomfortable with all the stringy bits. But you want 500 milliliters. So that's about the Egyptian bunches. I would say that's about 2 to 3 bunches juiced. For the blender, probably about 1.5 bunches if you're going to blend it with water. All right. Then you're going to wait another 30 minutes. And then breakfast is fruits. Any kind of fruit, any amount of fruit, or you can make a smoothie, which is different kinds of fruits, blended with coconut water or blended with orange juice. You're not going to blend with, ideally, almond milk or coconut milk or any fats because the liver doesn't like fats and protein in the morning. That's an overload on the liver. We've just talked about how the liver is regenerating all night. It's resting all night. It's expelling toxins all night. It's filtering all night. The last thing it wants is a shock of grains and protein and fat first thing in the morning. We need to ease it back into functionality. And the best way to do that is lemon water, celery juice, and fruits. Nothing but fruits until noontime. And so that can be smoothies, that can be a big bowl of fruit salad, that can be one single fruit that you eat as much as you want of. There is no limit on the quantities. There is no limit on the type of fruits, whatever you want. You want to wake up when mangoes are in season, you want to have mangoes for breakfast, please do. Mangoes for breakfast are going to heal you as opposed to eggs and avocados for breakfast, which are going to burden your liver. Any kind of fruits. And then you can keep snacking on fruits until 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock onwards is when the liver has, it's woken up, it's working, he's functioning, he's awake. We've given him an incredible boost of glucose. Remember, the liver needs glucose and it needs to always have a backup of glucose. When you're giving it all that glucose in those first 6 hours, there's enough to fuel you because those are the hours when you're waking up. So you need the most energy. That's how you're going to get it, from glucose. And the liver can also take some and store it for backup. It doesn't have to do a lot of work when you eat fruits in the morning. So by noontime, we can start to get the liver to work a little bit harder. And what you do after 12 p.m. depends on how fast or slow you want to go. So if you want to go slower, like you don't mind taking the process a little bit slower and you don't mind the results being a bit slower, then you can have a little bit of protein at lunch and a little protein at dinner, as well as the good fats like avocados, coconut oil, coconut milk, almond milk, all of that. Or you want to speed it up a bit, then you only have one portion of protein, either lunch or dinner. And I would stay away from red meat, make it fish or make it chicken. All right, you want to make it really, really, really fast results, remove the protein and the fats completely and just have greens for lunch and dinner. So I'm going to leave that up to you. So lunch would be around 12 or 1 p.m., huge, huge, huge salad, whatever you want to put in the salad. Leafy greens, cucumbers, tomatoes, radishes, green onions, bell peppers, olives, more greens, whatever you want. Make the dressing, any kind of dressing, as long as it doesn't have dairy in it. So you can do olive oil, lemon, you can do tahina dressing. Tahina dressing is amazing with salads. And if you want your protein, you can have a little piece of protein with your salad. If you're not having protein, you can keep snacking on fruits. If you are, whenever you have protein, keep this in mind. You need to keep your fruits 3 hours after consuming any animal protein. And the reason for that is that animal protein takes about 3 hours to digest in your digestive system. Fruits only take like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So if you eat chicken or fish or meat, it's going to stay in your stomach for a bit. It needs to. But then let's say half an hour later, you have an apple or a banana or any fruit, watermelon, it's going to get stuck because the digestive process has already started on the protein. And the watermelon or whatever fruit you'd had is not going to be able to make its way out. It's going to get stuck in this digestive process with the protein. And when you mix the two together, that's when you get the bloating. That's when they ferment, because you're mixing a protein and a fruit, a sugar and a protein. And that's how you get digestive issues. That's how you can get bloating. That's how you can get constipation. That's how you get low energy, because that's a lot of work on your system. So anytime you are having protein and you want to have fruits, just remember to keep at least 3 hours between them. Or you can have your fruits before. So if you know you're going to have lunch and you're going to have protein, or dinner is going to have protein, I would say an hour before, 45 minutes before you feel like having a snack, you can have the fruits before. They're going to go through the system before the protein gets in. All right, so then dinner, 6 or 7 p.m. can be the exact same as lunch. If you had protein at lunch and you only want to do protein once, then no protein at dinner. And to both of these, you can also add soup. So if you want to make a vegetable soup, you want to make a single vegetable creamy soup, creamy as in you blend the vegetable soup. You want to make roasted vegetables next to that. All of that works. Any combination of vegetables. After dinner, if you haven't had a protein, you can have a little bit of fruits. Like if 7 or 8 p.m., because they go through your system fast, you can have some more fruits. Make sure during the day you are drinking plenty of water. Nothing moves if there's no water in your body. And to calculate exactly how much water you need, multiply 0.33 times your weight. So let's say you weigh 60 kilograms, multiply that times 0.33. That will tell you exactly how much water you need for your particular body. All right, that's it, ladies. All done. That's the plan. Any questions? Let me see. Sahar, what can I eat after training? Okay, training. So depending on what time you train, I find that I prefer to work out and then start the whole breakfast in the morning. So work out on an empty stomach and then do the lemon water, celery juice, smoothie, fruits. Or sometimes what I'll do is I have the lemon water and the celery, work out, then have the smoothie or the fruit. So that's the best thing. There is no sort of the whole thing of what to eat after you train or before you train, whatever. That's like a lot of extra things to remember that you really don't need to remember. You don't want to go train with a full stomach. So it's super easy. If you're training in the evening, so let's say you train I know most women are either in the morning or in the evening, then I would do it before your last meal. So go train, then come back, have your 6 or 7 p.m. meal, and then you're done. You can have the water during or before. You can have a banana right before your workout for some energy. You can have some dates, because then also that will go through your system. Then go have your 6 or 7 p.m. last meal, and you're done. All right? Habib, what if I can't have lemon due to reflux? So the lemon didn't cause your reflux, Habib. What the lemon does is it clears out the bacteria and the pathogens that are causing the reflux. So initially when you and I've done this with all my clients, so I know what I'm talking about. When you bring in the lemon water, you're going to feel the reflux get worse. And it's not getting worse because the lemon is causing the problem or making the problem worse. The problem is already there. Reflux is a problem of and it's not an issue of having too much acid reflux. Actually, what you have is too little acid reflux because you have an increase in pathogens and bacteria and toxins that the liver is trying to deal with. So when you drink lemon water, lemon goes in there and alkalizes. So lemon is not acidic. Lemon is acidic when it's sitting on your counter in your fridge. As soon as you squeeze it and you drink it, it becomes alkaline in the water, in your digestive system. So it goes in and alkalizes, and what you feel as still acidity is what we call the die-off of the bacteria and the pathogens that are already there and the root cause of your reflux. Maha, basmati rice with vegetables only? No grains, no rice, no beans, no legumes, none of that. Nope. Mona, is halawa good as tahina? No, halawa is full of sugar. When I say tahina, I mean you take the plain tahina, and the best one that I found so far is at Gourmet. They make a plain one. Everything else on the market either has starch added to it, flour added to it, something. So you take plain tahina, make it into your, tahina, the batagna. You put lemon, you put water, you put salt and pepper, whatever it is. And that's a delicious dressing for your vegetables, for your salad, whatever it is. Mariam, pomegranate for sure. Beetroot, of course. Every single fruit, every single vegetable. There isn't a single fruit or vegetable on any list that you can find me that is off limits. They're all amazing. They're all healing. You want them all. All right. Hanan, are we allowed bone broth? Well, yes, you can have bone broth, depending on how you choose to have the animal protein. If you're going to have animal protein once a day, twice a day, you can, instead of the animal protein, you can have your broth. You can also make soups out of the broth. That would also work. Make a really good broth and make a vegetable soup out of it. That would also work. And is it considered animal protein regarding fruits after? If the bone broth is just broth, then no. If it's broth and you've got chunks of chicken or chunks of meat in it, then yes. Canned tuna. Stay away from canned tuna because tuna, unfortunately, carries a high rate of mercury, and mercury is toxic. So I would say canned tuna no more than once or twice a month maximum. Noha, for how long do we avoid grains and carbs? So processed carbs, like the breads and the pasta and the cereal and all that, you never need those again. Ever. We're not removing them as a temporary thing. We're removing them because they're useless. And not only are they useless, they also create disease. So they're not something that you will never, ever, ever, ever be deficient in a processed carb, ever. But some of the grains like brown rice, basmati rice, lentils, all of that, like you heard me say yesterday, they're not like the wheat grains, they're not like the gluten grains, so they're not going to harm you, but they're not going to heal you either. So my recommendation is to eat this way until you start to feel your symptoms subside or reverse completely, because you do need to get yourself to a set point. Once you are stable in your set point and you've gone for 2-3 weeks and you're symptom free, then the whole grains, we call them lentils, beans, chickpeas, all of these, and animal protein are the two that you experiment with to see how it works for you. How much of these can you reincorporate with the vegetables and the fruits that you're eating? Fruits and vegetables should always be 90 to 95% of what you're eating every day. And the other 5 or 10%, depending on everybody has their own very unique blueprint. Depending on your unique blueprint will determine, right, I can have a little bit of rice, that works for me. I can have a little bit of chicken, that works for me. And it's a process. You're going to go through it and you're going to learn. And I show you exactly how to do this process in the program. Halia, what if I can't find celery? I'm already not in Cairo, so it's hard to find. You can't find celery. The closest substitution for celery is cucumbers. Make a fresh cucumber juice, whether blended or juiced. Mona, is this a detox plan or this is meant for this is a long-term lifestyle. This is how I eat every single day. Every single day. You never need to eat bread. You're going to eat bread after this because you want to. You don't need to incorporate it. So this is how to eat what we call the detox lifestyle, because the longer you eat this way, the more symptoms you reverse, the more you prevent disease. As soon as you start to go back and retox, all the symptoms will start to come back, because these are the foods that created the symptoms to start with. So this is a lifestyle for sure. Every once in a while, you're going to go out and have something, or it's going to be an occasion, or it's going to be a birthday or something. You're going to decide for yourself how to do that. But this is how you're going to eat 90 to 95% of the time. Yes. Maryam Wahib, quinoa falls under the same category as the rice and all of that, because believe it or not, quinoa for some people have the same reaction to quinoa that they have to gluten. So you're going to have to experiment with that also. Jahan, shrimps is animal protein? Yes. When I say animal protein, that's red meat, chicken, turkey, pigeons, rabbits, seafood, shrimp, fish, all of that. Is this amount of vegetables sufficient protein for weight training? Yes, it is. Have you ever seen vegan athletes? Have you ever seen the vegan marathon runners who run on just juice? Completely. Hanan, coconut kefir, coconut yogurt allowed? Yes, they are. Those are still considered fats. They're the good fats. So you want to make sure that any of the good fats, you consume them after 12 p.m. So between 12 and 6 p.m., not in the morning. Alia, spices, salt, and potatoes, definitely spices, definitely potatoes, definitely salt. The salt needs to be sea salt. So not the regular, not the regular stuff in the supermarket, sea salt, only sea salt, or Himalayan salt. Sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. And the spices, as much as you can, try to make sure that they're also pure, because a lot of spices have a lot of additives and chemicals and synthetic flavors added. So just check that it's a pure spice, but definitely all spices, dried herbs, spices, all of that is good to go. Lamia, what are examples of fish? And it can be cooked with olive oil. Yes, all fish. So salmon is great. Any of the white fillet fish is great. Any fish is great. Cook it with olive oil, just whatever fish you prefer. Just as long as it's not deep fried, like it's not pane fish, right? So it's either grilled or roasted, whatever it is, but it all works. Lamia, what about fric? No, not fric, because it comes from wheat, straight from wheat. So no fric. Pumpkin seeds and chia seeds with fruits. I would keep those until 12 onwards, because they are a source of fat, even though they're good fat. So if you're going to have your fruits in the morning, have them plain. You want to have it later on, have it with the chia seeds and have it with the pumpkin seeds. Himalayan salt. Yes, Himalayan salt. Jahan, could you please list the good fats? So coconut oil, olive oil, avocados, nuts. So nuts would also be something you'd have after 12 p.m. The nut butters, all of those are good fats. Hanan, seeds and nuts, nut milks, yes. Almond milk, coconut milk, oat milk. What are the other ones I've seen around? Yeah, all of the nut milks. Yes, nuts. How many days is the detox? So I just said the detox is not how many days. You have to reframe your mindset that this is how you're going to live. So it's not, I'm going to do this for 5 days, 6 days, 28 days, and then go back to eating bread and cheese and yogurt and bring in coffee. Is the only thing, you can bring it in after 1 month. Give yourself 1 month without coffee, then you can bring it in. But all the other stuff is out, because that's the stuff that made you sick to start with, right? The bread is what made you sick. The cheese is what made you sick. The pasta is what made you sick. The packaged food, the eggs, right? Because they're full of hormones. Those things have to go. So if you want to stay after you reverse your symptoms and you're feeling amazing and you want to stay feeling amazing, those things stay out. This is why people fall into the trap of turning detoxes into diets, because they think a detox is something you just do for a short period of time and then you're done with it and then you go back to how you eat before. So then it really is no different than any other diet you've done before. But the reality is what we're looking at here is a detox lifestyle. You are changing your lifestyle completely. You are no more waking up and having what you used to have for breakfast. You are no more having what you used to have for lunch. You are changing years and years and years of programming. It is not easy. I know it's not easy, but it's also not complicated. You're going to wake up and have fruits. You're going to make a salad and have vegetables for lunch and maybe a little piece of chicken or fish. And you're going to do the same thing for dinner. So it's not complicated, but getting yourself into that habit is going to take time and it needs support and it needs guidance. And that's what we do in the program, because you do need to have the guidance and the support and the motivation as you go through this process. Mona, nut butter as almond, peanut butter, almond butter, yes. Cashew butter, yes. I would stay away from peanuts and anything made from peanuts. Herbal teas with or without honey, yes. All herbal teas. Raw honey is fantastic. You can have, every time you have a cup of tea, put a teaspoon of raw honey in it. That's amazing. Molasses is amazing. Again, make sure it doesn't have added sugar. So, we have all these incredibly naturally healing foods and they're just ruined by the food industry because they add things like sugar to them. So I know Gourmet makes a good molasses that doesn't have anything added to it. If you want something salty for breakfast, what can I take? Potatoes. So a salty breakfast is potatoes. You can have boiled potatoes with salt and pepper. Actually, we have a great recipe in the program, which it's like a breakfast potato breakfast hash. But it needs to be a fruit or vegetable. You want to have a vegetable soup for breakfast, you can do that. But like bread, food, all of this, it was the wrong instruction from a long time ago. Can't come back in. Noor, dried fruits. Dried fruits, yes, but not the conventional ones. So not the ones that we buy for Ramadan, for example. All of those are loaded with sugar and they're loaded with chemical preservatives. So you want to find ones that are just plain dehydrated fruits, not nice plumpy ones. You're going to see there's a huge difference between the ones that are dehydrated properly and there's nothing added to them and all the fake conventional ones. So you can find the good, safe, dehydrated ones at Minnie's Dried Fruits. So if you go on Facebook, type in Minnie's Dried Fruits. I believe she delivers and she sells them all over Cairo. Those are the safest ones to have. Mona, if I choose dates and nuts for snacking, is there a quantity restriction? Quantity for the nuts, no more than a handful a day, but the dates you can have as much as you want. There's no limit on the dates. Lamia, rice cakes, no rice cakes. Those are the most unhealthiest foods ever created. It's literally, just take a rice cake. Lamia, take a rice cake and just hit it against the table once, right? It's cardboard. Any cracker, rice cake, bread, it's cardboard. You don't actually need a substitute for bread because we need to substitute for things that our body actually needs. So if you remove it, for example, if you remove animal protein, there's certain building blocks there, there's amino acids there that your body would still need. So we try to find replacements because those are essential for the body, but there's nothing essential in a piece of bread. Nothing. So it doesn't actually need a replacement. You might want to find a replacement, but the body doesn't need one. So in that case, you can find, gluten-free alternatives. But again, you're just putting yourself in that cycle of processed food again, because any gluten-free bread is still another processed food. They've removed the gluten, wonderful, but all the ingredients that are used instead of the gluten, in most of the cases, the ingredients are not that much better for you. They're not gluten, but they're not good for you. And they're not something you can have for breakfast anyway. So the idea is to completely shift your habits. Jihan, where to get good raw honey? So my 3 favorites are Melek's Honey on Facebook. All these are on Facebook. Sada's Organic Farm, again on Facebook. She has really good raw honey. And Gourmet has a really good raw honey also. Ghada, what is the replacement for animal protein? So animal protein, you can replace it with, given that your body doesn't have the reactions, you can have lentils, you can have the beans. Believe it or not, broccoli has a ton of protein, like gram per gram, broccoli has more protein than a piece of steak. Broccoli, potatoes, mushrooms, green peas, all of those are great alternatives to animal protein. Psychologically, I want something to crunch on like a cracker, so I use rice cakes, not for nutrition, but for mental sanity. Well, we might have to dig a little bit deeper there, and I don't know that we have the time and space for that, but like, you can have nuts instead, right? And nuts, at least they're crunchy, but they're not gonna have the negative effects of a rice cake. Any other questions, ladies? So this is a very basic food plan. In the Hormone Reset program, I take you through a very, very, very detailed and very specific liver cleanse with very specific fruits and vegetables to help you release the toxins from your liver and to balance your hormones and to start to give you relief from your symptoms. And like I said, you get the support, because what happens if you suddenly get bored of this food, right? Or what happens when you start to feel uncomfortable withdrawal symptoms? And when you start to implement this plan, you will go through a few days where you're going to feel the uncomfortable withdrawal symptoms, and many of you are going to think that then there's something wrong with the plan. So if, let's say you start this plan tomorrow and you do it exactly the way I've told you. Tomorrow's what? Monday. By Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you might feel really tired. You might get headaches. You might feel like you're getting a cold or a flu. You might get body aches. You might get a runny nose. And then you're going to panic and you're going to think, my body is reacting badly to this plan. Look, my body's actually feeling weak. My body's getting sick. This plan is not working. And you might decide to stop. That is actually supposed to happen when you remove caffeine and wheat and dairy and sugar and all of the toxins, because what happens is you stop the intake. So the liver that has been, basically dying for a break, in order to do its job, it can finally do its job of releasing all the backed up toxins. So it starts to release all the backed up toxins, and then they sort of flow through your body a little bit. Like, they're not flushed out instantly. Like, the liver doesn't kick them out and then they go out of your body on the same day. They flow through your bloodstream for a little bit, and then slowly, little by little, the body flushes them out. So in those few days, while the body is, there's the liver is releasing, it's going through your bloodstream, the body's flushing, you've got toxins, a whole bunch of toxins, not just concentrated in one place anymore, but they're being released. So you're going to feel the effects of that. And detoxing does require energy. It takes a lot of work for your body to do this. So feeling tired, getting the headaches, all of that is supposed to happen. But if you find yourself all by yourself in this, you might panic, you might worry, you might lose motivation. You just feel like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can finish. So what you're not getting here are the mindset tools, right? Especially the mindset tools that help you to, instead of fighting for all your limitations, because all the questions, not necessarily here, but like, which class? The class where I told you all the things you have to move out, and your critter brain was kind of going like crazy on you. And then you were all sharing your thoughts with me, and you're like, I can't do this. I can't give up coffee. I can't live without my bread. I can't live without my tea. I can't live without my cheese. This is you actually fighting for your limitations. You're actually fighting for the thing that's going to stop you from making an incredible change in your life. Think about that for a second. All of you here are here because you have 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 of the symptoms I've talked about since day one. PMS, night sweats, hot flashes, migraines, irregular periods, heavy periods, autoimmune, IBS, thyroid, you name it. You're all here because you have something. And you are fighting and holding on so hard to your coffee or your tea or your cheese or your bread. That's called fighting for your limitations. You're going to do whatever you can not to let go of this thing, even though letting go of this thing is literally what stands between you and no symptoms. So you need to get the mindset support to get through that mind block, because right now all of you are fighting for your limitations. You're standing your ground for your limitations. Not giving up my coffee. I'm not giving up my bread. Like, you're really fighting for that one thing that if you were just to let go of, you're going to have a completely different life. So think about it right now. Are you really going to, and this is for anything, and if you start to think about it, you're going to see to what extent you fight for your limitations in every area of your life. Obviously, here we're just focused on the food. But when you say, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to give up my coffee, then I would love to join your program, but I'm not going to give up my coffee. That's a huge, like you're just like, you have your army fighting for your limitation, which is your coffee. So are you going to let that control your life? And are you truly, truly going to let a cup of coffee or a piece of bread or your cheese be the thing that stands between you and being symptom-free and being preventing disease and aging in a way that is completely different than your mother and your grandmother and all the women in your family? Because you have an option. You can keep fighting for that limitation. Keep fighting. I can't, and I won't. Not going to give anything up. I know maybe it'll make my life better, but I'm not doing it. And here's what's going to happen. You're going to find yourself. And I say this with all the love. You will find yourself in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, aged, tired, unable to move, perhaps, sitting on a couch. Just think of the oldest woman in your family. Think of the oldest woman alive right now in your family, or the oldest woman in your family before she passed on. What did she look like before she died? Not moving, really not doing anything, sitting on a couch every day, maybe, measuring out, counting out her pills every single morning. Somebody has to bring her breakfast. Somebody has to bring her lunch. Somebody has to help her change. Somebody has to help her go to the bathroom. And we all think this is normal. It's not normal. That decline, that erosion, it's not a default setting. It only happens because we are consuming the foods that create the erosion. It's just like a car. Imagine if you have your car and instead of putting the right gasoline, you put olive oil in your car every single day. Or you put sunflower oil in your machine every single day, instead of putting the premium, 95 gasoline. I mean, yeah, your car might move along a bit. It'll be okay. But then what happens? At some point, it's going to break down. Think of it this way. Imagine your body as a house, right? There are some houses that are built of straw, literally straw. And we've seen them. We live in a country where we see these huts, these poor, miserable, unfortunate people who live in a hut, straw roof, straw walls, right? It's still a house. It's standing. But then you have the houses that are built with bricks. And the food that you eat are those bricks. It's those building blocks for a house made of strong bricks. The house made of straw is still going to be standing. So if you eat bread and cheese and the way that you're eating right now, that's like equivalent to your house of straw. It'll stand. You're okay. But if you eat the way I'm telling you, you're going to have a house of bricks, which are both standing. But here's the difference. When there's a storm, when there's, a shit show of a virus happening all around us, and there's chronic disease everywhere, which one of those houses is the one that's going to be able to withstand the storm? That's the difference. So sure, the straw one is going to be there. It's probably going to last for a while too. The brick one is also there. It's also going to last for a really long time. Which one is going to withstand the storm? The one built with the straw or the one built with bricks? Your food, the nutrient-dense foods that I'm talking about, those are your bricks. Bread, pasta, cheese, junk, coffee, blah, 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 blah. That's your straw. So stop fighting for your limitations. You want to get to a place in your life where you can still be doing everything that you need to do, where you're not counting out pills every single morning. But here's the thing. That future self of yours, you in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, whatever that vision you had of her a few days ago when we did that exercise, she needs you to make that decision right now. That future self She's either going to be tired, old, and sick, and taking 10 medications a day, stuck on a couch, unable to enjoy her life or her family or her grandkids, unable to travel, unable to feel good, a burden on all of those around her. Or your future self is going to be energetic, glowing, medication-free, thriving daily. Because believe it or not, ladies, it's a myth. It's a myth that you have to grow old and take medication. It's a myth. It all depends on the choices you're making right now. So what choice are you going to make? Because if you want the healthy, vibrant, energetic, glowing, medication-free, disease-free version, that's not happening on its own. In 5-10 years, that's not going to happen unless you start to make that woman today. And if you're somebody who's already on medication, you already have a diagnosed condition, you can get off all your medications and reverse your disease. I've seen it with my clients over and over and over again. You don't have to have that surgery. You're not stuck with this medication for life. You're not sentenced to a life of pain and side effects from your medications, and then more medications to deal with the side effects. At some point, and it hasn't been more evident than with this whole COVID fiasco, that we have to start a revolution and just say, you know what? You know what? That the latest antidepressant you're giving me, that latest prescription you want me to take, that latest sleeping pill, that hormone replacement therapy, that, experimental shot, no. I'm not going to put anything in my body that I don't want to put in my body. All that medication does, because if you've been on medication for 5, 6, 10 years, are you actually treated? You're not healed. If you're still taking medication, you're not healed, because the medicine doesn't get to the root cause of the problem that you have. We want to get to the root cause. Get it out, fix it, be done with it. That's what healing is about. And healing is not a myth. And that's what we do in the Hormone Reset program. That's exactly what we do in the program. We work through all of this together. Because for the women who do the work and they heal themselves naturally and they balance their hormones, they actually feel, and you've seen the women and you've seen their comments, they're vibrant, they're happy. Their hair doesn't fall out, their skin glows. They wake up in the morning really feeling restored. And they feel like they have more than enough energy to do whatever the day throws at them. They don't wake up dreading their day anymore. Their moods are stable. They have a healthy sex drive. Their metabolism is humming. They clear the brain fog so they can start to see yourself again. But you have to decide, ladies. You have to decide. I wish I can go in there and come to each one of your houses and clean out all your refrigerators and stack all of your cupboards and your refrigerators with the right foods, and come to each one of your house and make sure you're eating all the right things all the time. And I might even be able to do that. But if you haven't taken the decision first and you're convinced that even though you're going to make mistakes, because you are going to make mistakes, this is not a perfect process. Our favorite phrase in the Hormone Reset program is failing forward. I'm failing forward. So it's not about perfection. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about learning how to do the things imperfectly that gets you results. But you need to make a decision, ladies. Get on board with me and let me show you how to do this, and let me support you with this, and let me take you through this journey, because if you don't make this decision for yourself, nobody else can make it for you. All right, ladies, let me see if we have about 10 minutes left. Let me see any last. So logistics, go and sign up in the links. The link should be up here. I'll post it again in the group. Sign up for the program. We start on June 6th, which is in exactly 1 week. So Sunday that's coming, that's day 1 of the program. I talked about the different modules in the program on yesterday's class. So if you didn't watch that, go back and watch day 7. I break down the program, exactly what you're going to learn and what you're going to do. Go back and watch it. The first 5 ladies is done. That bonus is finished. So whoever signs up from now on does not get the 1 hour bonus session with me. That's done. Sign up. It's $497. You can pay it in full, or you can make 2 payments of $298, or 4 payments of $150, Or if you'd like a longer, easier payment plan, we can definitely do that. Email me and we can set it up for you. All right? Don't not sign up, ladies, because this is the program that's going to change your life. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, it's an investment, but it's an investment in your health. Do you know how much it costs to get sick these days? Do you know how much it costs to pay for regular medication on a regular basis if you have diabetes? If you have diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, PCOS, Alzheimer's, all of the above. Have you ever gone and done the calculation for how much it costs to be sick? It costs a lot to be sick. It's a lot cheaper to spend a little on yourself right now, invest in yourself so that you don't get sick, than to be stuck with sick and hospital bills later. I promise you, ladies. So sign up. We have an incredible Facebook group. Already amazing ladies have signed up for this program. So already I can see this group shaping up to be another very, very special group. We start on Sunday. If you know that you are just literally one step away from signing up for this program, but you just have a few personal questions for me that you need cleared up, let me know and we can schedule a time for us to have a call. We can have a quick 10 or 15 minute chat, just me and you, but only email me or message me if you know that you're going to sign up for this program, but you literally just need a few things cleared up. Like you're just right there. And this call is what's going to sort of bring it full circle for you. Message me, email me, and we can set up that call. I'll be more than happy to speak with you 10 or 15 minutes to see what is happening with you, where the last little bit of resistance might be, and get you set up. All right? Let me see what other questions have come through. Mona, how long should the cleanse program take? The hormone reset program is 10 weeks for level 1, 10 weeks for level 2. Level 3 is 6 months. Lamia, what if I failed one day and ate what is forbidden? So what? I just talked about that. We call it failing forward. You just pick up the next day and keep going. No big deal at all. Hanan, can we bake with almond flour? Not in the initial phase of the program, but later on, yes. Are we allowed cocoa in the later phase? Yes. Ghee in moderation, since we are allowed animal protein. Ghee, butter, that falls into the experimental phase of whether animal protein is going to work for you to start with. Then you can start to see. Are Egyptian cooked veggies allowed, like molokhia, green beans, peas, spinach? Yes, definitely. And I will show you how to make them in a healthier way. And you don't eat them obviously with rice and you don't eat them with bread, but they are allowed. That molokhia is fantastic. Peas and string beans, are they considered legumes? No, they are not. Peas and string beans are great. Peas are especially high in protein. Iman, how long is the liver cleanse, or afterwards we decide to experiment with animal protein? 9 days. 9 days, ladies. 9 days is the hardest part, is 9 days. That's it. Nirmeen Safwat. Then I started to eliminate what you mentioned in day 3 for 3 days now. And today I was really weak and sleepy all day. And I had so much work to do today and tomorrow. So I ate bread, drank coffee to be able to finish what I have to do. So do you think I should start again when no work or maybe in vacation? Nirmeen, did you hear what I said? 10 minutes ago? That's supposed to happen. So when you do this, when you eliminate all the things that I talk about, you're supposed to get weak and sleepy and tired. When you ate the bread and drank the coffee, that didn't give you the energy. There's a false sense of what? There's just a falsity right there. When you are in the middle of a detox and you're feeling tired and sleepy and exhausted and you just can't do anything, you're like, oh my God, this is just not working for me. I can't. Give me my coffee, give me my bread. And you think what you're doing is giving yourself energy. You're not. What you're actually doing is you've stopped the process. You bring in the toxins again, you've stopped the detox process. You haven't replenished energy. You've just stopped the process of removing toxins from the body. That's why you feel tired. So you stopped it. You're not detoxing anymore. So your body just goes back to where it was before you started the detox. So you give yourself when we do the cleanse and the program, we usually start it on a Thursday. So there's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We do the toughest 3 days. We do them on the weekend. But you, at some point, you have to, unless you are ready to stop your whole life to do this, then they do that if that's available to you. But you have to just, first of all, understand why this happened. It's not that the plan backfired on you, right? The plan was actually working. And I want to just, throw a wild guess out there that if you had just waited 2 more days, just 2 more days, it would have broken. That the tip, like there's a peak for the fatigue and feeling tired that would have broken, and you would have felt much better. You gave up too soon. So you gave up too soon. That's why you need to be in a group and getting the support and the guidance so that you don't give up too soon and you can see it through. Muna, is blue cheese as bad as the other ones? Yeah, all the cheeses are bad. They're all dairy. All dairy is dairy. Nermeen, yes, I understand. That's why should I start again, maybe in vacation, to be able to handle this flu or weakness? I'm going to leave this up to you. But here's the thing. Something's always going to come up. There's always going to be some reason for you to delay or not to do it now or let me wait and see. And the best thing is just do it and get it over with. Noor, is there another alternative for a detox juice besides the celery one? Celery is the specific one to take in the morning. The only reason you might use cucumbers instead of celery is because you can't find it. But in terms of the healing powers of celery, there's nothing really that matches. So it's celery. If you can't find it, it's cucumbers. Now, and the celery needs to be completely plain. So you can't add apples to the celery or lemons to the celery or honey to the celery, nothing. It needs to be just plain celery juice. All right. Why not peanuts? So peanuts have a kind of, what do you call it? Kind of mold or fungus that invisible, you can't see it, that grows on them. They're called aflatoxins. And so this mold or this, I can't forget if it's a kind of mold or fungus or if that's the same thing. When you eat it, basically you ingest the mold or the fungus as well. So you take it inside you and that's a toxin. That's why no peanuts. Reda, I did the normal program with you before. Is this one different? This is different. So those of you who have done my older 28-day program, this is different because we're talking about cleansing on a higher level, cleansing on a deeper level, because we are not just eating clean just to generally be healthy. We need to eat in a specific way to heal specific diseases and to heal specifically hormonal symptoms. So yes, it is different. Amira, you said the first 4 weeks are not about food and we can eat anything we want. Yes, Amira. So yes, to clarify, starting Sunday and for 4 weeks from Sunday, you're not changing how you eat yet, in case that helps you in making your decision. So from now until for the next 5 weeks, let's say, you don't have to change anything about the way you eat unless you want to, because the first 4 weeks of the program, we focus on that mindset, really digging in deep and understanding where your mindset blocks come in, why you're fighting for your limitations, understanding your emotions, understanding the different moving parts of your life and how they affect how you eat, decluttering your mental space and your physical space, learning time management, learning how to structure your days in a way that works for you, so that when we move into the food part, you have a very strong foundation to work from. So it's not just another diet. So yes, Amira, you can technically eat whatever you want for the next 5 weeks until we get into the food part of the program. Add some art. Are potatoes considered carbs too? So not to be mixed with animal protein, or vegetables, so can be mixed with fish, for example. So potatoes are a starchy vegetable. And by the way, every single fruit and every single vegetable is a carb. This is a very high carb diet. It's not a high processed carb diet. So processed carbs are the fake carbs. All fruits and all vegetables are the original carbohydrates. So potatoes are carbohydrates, lettuce is a carbohydrate, broccoli is a carbohydrate, carrots are a carbohydrate, celery is a carbohydrate. These are the carbohydrates that are the building blocks for the body. But potatoes are a starchy vegetable, a starchy carbohydrate. Whether or not it works for you with an animal protein If you have a really compromised digestive system, and you know you do if you are constantly feeling bloated or gassy, or if you have constipation or diarrhea, or just generally, your digestive system is slow, then chances are high, potatoes, when mixed with animal protein, are not going to work for you. Again, this is part of the experiment. I was never able to mix at the beginning of my journey. I was never able to mix potatoes with my protein. Literally in the past 2 months, I have been eating potatoes with my chicken, potatoes with my fish, and nothing happens. But it took years of rebuilding my digestive system. So you're going to have to practice, you're going to have to see, you're going to have to test it and see how your body reacts. So this is not a die hard rule. The fruits, they will ferment with the protein for everyone. Starchy vegetables, this is where we experiment a little bit. Red, is the information written or videos? In the hormone reset program, it's a combination. So every 2 weeks, you're going to get a module that you access on our website. You get a password and a username and password. You access the module. Inside the module is a teaching video, pre-recorded teaching video, to teach you the subject matter of the module. And then there is reading material inside each module that you have to read. There is a little bit of homework to do inside each module that you have to do. And then we have a closed Facebook group where I post every single day things related to the module that we're on. And that's where I answer all of your questions. And that's where all of the communication and the conversation happens. And then once a week in the Facebook group is where I also do a live video like this, a live teaching video. And that's it. So every 2 weeks, a module that has a pre-recorded video and reading material, and you have 2 weeks to complete the module. So you have 2 weeks to read through the module, and it's a very, very simple reading. And then within those 2 weeks, you have the ongoing conversation and communication in the Facebook group, and a 1 weekly video every single week. Every single Monday, you have a live coaching call with me. Alia, we can make veggie soup with olive oil? Yes. Which brand of chicken do you use? I usually get my chicken from greenolic.com, or we get it from Gourmet, which if I'm really, really organized, and I get a whole batch from Greenolic because they're one of the few that are, what do you call it? Whatever extent of hormone-free organic that we have, Greenolic is one of the really good places to get it from, or I just get it from Gourmet. Are we meant to start the detox right away or after the program starts? So the detox part happens in week 5 of the program. Week 5. So we spend the first 4 weeks doing all the emotional work. Week 5 is when we start the liver cleanse. Mona, rice bran oil? No, rice bran oil is a grain oil, not a vegetable oil. You don't want grain oils, you want vegetable oils. All right, ladies. Final questions, final thoughts. Tomorrow is our last day. Believe it or not, tomorrow is day 9 of the 9-day Boost Your Hormones Naturally class. So tomorrow I'm just going to come in, take last minute questions from you, just to wrap everything up for you. Basically, wrap everything up, take last minute questions, wrap up the class. Tuesday is a separate standalone class on how to overcome emotional eating. So if you haven't signed up for that, please do. I'm going to leave you with this final thought, that your success and transformation in your health is a combination of your mindset, plus having a plan, plus having a structure, plus having the right support, plus taking action. If you don't have all of these, it's just another diet. It's just another piece of paper. Go and eat this, 30 grams of this, half a piece of this, 2 bites of rice. It's just another diet. You need to have all of those things that I'm talking about, because one without the other, it really doesn't work too well. You know it doesn't work too well because you've tried it. We've all tried it. You need to be doing all of these things together simultaneously to reach your health goals and your life goals. The goals you have for yourself, those goals, that stem from your heart and your head and all those things you want to see for yourself, you can't make those come true if your body is not there for you. If physically your body is not there for you, you cannot live out your dreams, whatever those dreams are. So it is going to take work. It is going to take work. I'm not going to lie. It is going to take work. But the reality is your number one priority right now is showing up as the best version of yourself, whatever that version is in your head. So it's going to take work. And it's going to require you to do things imperfectly, because that's how we see results. If you do nothing, if you decide, because that's a decision also. If you decide I'm not doing anything, that's a decision. But you're going to be stuck in unnecessary pain. And then unnecessary pain, that 6 months down the line, you're going to be exactly where you are now. And then you're going to have the pain and the regret that you didn't start earlier. So that's where the program comes in, ladies. Join me in this program. Let me help you. Let me support you. Let me teach you mindset, because nobody's teaching you mindset. Let's get down to the emotional triggers that are happening in your life. Get the structure, get the plan, get the support, get the guidance, and get into action. And always, always, always think of that future self of yours. How is she going to decide? What is your future self telling you right now? Is she saying, let me see who's here. Is she saying, Maha, you know what? I think you need to stay right where you are. Stay right where you are. I'm okay. 20 years from now, yeah, just stay where you are. We're okay. We're okay. Or Maha, do you think your future self in 20 years is saying, Maha, you know what? This is your chance. This is your chance so that me, you can see me 20 years from now. We get to be this. We get to be healthy and energetic and happy and full of vitality and living our life the way we want to live it. Please, Maha, do it now. Which version do you think is talking to you right now? What do you think your future self, if she could speak to you right now, what do you think she would tell you? Have a great night, ladies. The deadline to sign up is Thursday, June 3rd. The deadline to watch these videos is June 5th. If you haven't signed up for the extra class, the bonus class, make sure you do that now. If you need to have a call with me because you just need a little extra push, send me a message and we can arrange it. And I will see you all tomorrow for our last class of the 9-day Boost Your Hormones Naturally class. Bye, ladies.